Pearls versus turds. So here's where we take some wisdom from the internet or somewhere out in the ether and decide whether this wisdom or this advice is actually wise, actually a pearl, or as most of them have turned out to be, a piece of shit. And if it is, then we don't want you following this shitty advice. This submission was from listener Rebecca. I guess I'll read it. So
Yep.
she's screenshotting. What is this? A Twitter
Yep.
tweet
It's from
from
Twitter. Yes.
Justin Sua. Who's that? Do you know that
I
person?
have no idea who this.
Okay,
It's a
Justin
random
Sua.
Twitter person. Yeah.
Justin Sua, who is a verified Twitter, has a verified Twitter account,
Oh
by the way,
yeah.
says,
Check mark.
part of embracing the process is understanding that no matter how focused you are or how hard you work, you can't force how fast the results come. Manage your emotions as things unfold. When results aren't lining up with your expectations, keep focusing on what you can control. Okay. So Rebecca wants to know, is this good advice?
I think it's great advice. I I can't tell you how many students ask me, like for specific timelines on how fast their score is going to improve, or students get upset because they've been working hard and then on their practice test last Saturday they scored 2 points lower than their previous test and they think everything's going to shit. And I always tell them, it's like, I'm sorry that the results weren't what you wanted them to be this time. But the only thing I care about at all is, let's look at your individual mistakes and figure out how to avoid making those individual mistakes next time. And that's controlling the process. The process, the whole purpose, I wrote a newsletter about this a couple of weeks ago, but the whole purpose of doing timed practice and scored practice tests is simply to get most of them right, but make a few mistakes. And the very few mistakes that you make are precious opportunities to learn. You learn as much as you can from those mistakes and you keep moving.
Yeah.
You can't force that progress. You can control your actions in this moment. That's all you can do.
Yep. Focus on what you're doing and how to do it better. Don't focus on the results. In fact, usually what happens, right? And this is the advice we give over and over again. Someone's taking a test. They're focusing on the outcome. They're focusing on that perfect score, getting a 180 or whatever. And by like almost aiming toward that, they end up missing the steps that they need to take now. It's like it forces you to gloss over it. You know that there's this quote that's always stuck with me. It's and I'm totally gonna mess it up, but it's from one of those Abraham Lincoln movies, and it's the one that came out like 5 years ago or something. But anyways, someone was criticizing Lincoln, right? And he was saying, I don't understand why you don't try to abolish slavery more quickly. Like, what's your problem? Like you agree, we all agree in this room that it's a bad thing and we need to get rid of it. You're being too sympathetic to the South or something like that, right? I don't remember the words, but and I don't know if this is just a cinematic moment or if this is something that Lincoln actually said, but he's like, yeah, we all see like the mountain that we want to get to, but you're not seeing the valleys and the like the terrain that we have to traverse to get there. And if you just like aim towards that mountain and like start running towards it, you're going to trip and fall on your face and fuck it all up. You got to bring everybody along. And the way to do that is to like deal with the next mountain right in front of you. And that's what's happening on the LSAT. You can't be like, oh, I got to get a 170 and I'm just going to like, I don't know, spasm. You just have to focus on the question or the sentence that you're on. Yeah. So this is a pearl.
Yep, I'm willing to give it a pearl. If you have a pearl versus turd candidate, you can email help@thinkinglsat.com and we will get you on the agenda. You can also talk to us on social, including Twitter @thinkinglsat. We're not super active on Twitter, but we are on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere @thinkinglsat. Or yeah, again, email help@thinkinglsat.com and you will find your pearl versus turd candidate on a future show.
Cool. Thanks, Rebecca.
Yep. Thanks, Rebecca. That was our 13th pearl against 42 turds and 22 ties.